Just a game for people with brain strategy and with pattern recognition. Not a weak eye poses, but hey, Stockfish, aka chat robot overlord, have been destroying humans for years now. So why not build our own engine to play for us? So after 50 stack of flow tabs, I made a working chatbot and can move peas anywhere, literally anywhere. By the way, I also added this really helpful indicator to show where P will land. Well, a little try. Alright, time to lay down some more generation. But first, let's be familiar with bitboard. A bitboard is a way to represent all 64 squares of the chatbot using bits. 0 for empty square, 1 for hey, there's a P here, and 1289 mean, well, something gone wrong. So with 12 bitboard in total, we can create any state of the board. But why bother with bitboard? Because bitboard is 10 times faster than other methods. Okay, but for real, using bits let you do chat storage super fast. Computer love it. And with bitboards, you can work with all 64 squares at once. Imagine trying to do that with an array. But then, why speed is so important for our chat engines? We'll talk about that in a minute. For now, let's focus on move generation. To speeding up, we will pre-compute all possible moves for every P on every square. So at runtime, we can quickly look up the available options and filter out any that would land on our own piece with a single end. But here's the issues. For long slider pieces like the king, pawn and knight, each square had one set of possible moves. Easy, right? But for sliding pieces like bishop, rooks and queens, it's way more complicated. The move depend on where the blockers are. For example, a bishop on d4 can have up to 320 setup. Well, a sane person now would say, let's calculate it on the fly, but well, that's both slow and not cool, but we are cool, so the project is over. See you next video. Okay, turn out you can still pre-compute all the sliding moves. Just leave a big 2D array, one index for the square. The other is a bitboard of blockers. This gives us a quick lookup for any position. And to optimize this further, instead of using the bitboard, you multiply it by a special magic number, then shift the result by the number of relevant bits. If that sounds confusing, it's easy because it is, but it works and it's fast. So let's move on. Oh, and where can we get the magic numbers? Good question. Everything is good now. Next step, okay, turn out ChatGPT is not so good at finding magic number. So I guess we'll have to find a magic number ourselves. Or do we? Now all moves are still pseudo moves, which means the king can walk straight in dangers, and I'm sure that's not how chess works. Unless you're playing against me, of course. So how do we fix this? I think we can make a map of every square that is under attack and doesn't allow the king to walk there. Genius, right? I know. But here's the trick. We pretend that our king doesn't exist, so the attack ray go right to him. That's why our king went into a laser beam from behind. Next up, hints. Here's the idea. If there's a straight line from an enemy bishop, rook or queen to our king, and only one of our p is in the way, that p is pinned, meaning it can only move along that line, or take out the p attacking the king, otherwise hand off. Alright, let's try this out. Well, good news is king and pin move correctly. Bad news, yeah. Next step, give it a brain. Well, let's start with the widest form of a chat engine, random playing. Well, good thing is the engine follow the rules well, and bad thing is it lose easily. So, remember all that bitboard stuff we did for speed? Now's when it actually matters. computers are great at running to thousands of possible positions every second, which is perfect for chess. The idea is simple. Don't pick a move at random. Pick the best one. But wait, how? Pretend every position has a score. For now, we'll calculate it by on piece left on board. Or if you want the opposite side score, or this. So the engine think ahead like, if I go here, then I go there, then I'll do this. And try every possible path to find the score for each move combination. Then we can work from the ground up. In white turn, we'll pick the high score since it leads with the best position. And when it's black turn, we'll flip the side and find the best move for black. Then we'll fly a lead lap with the best route where each side play perfectly. And of course, since we're using Python, which yes, I regret, but I'm also too lazy to rewrite everything in C. This whole thing is painfully slow. Evaluating all possible moves could take forever. But this web alpha beta pruning come to say us. Let's break it down. Say we want to find the score for black queen on d4, looking 3 moves ahead. At this branch, we have a score of 1 and let's update upward. In the next branch, on the first left, we have a 3. However, since we are hunting for the max score, whatever value the other leaf might have is at minimum 3, or from B perspective, if we flip the side, A is at maximum -3. But look, B is already at -1, so there's no point in running to the rest of E. Thus, alpha beta pruning. With this shortcut, we can skip about 80 to 90% of possible positions, which crazy. Look like it have good awareness of P value now and doesn't give free P. Look, it just defends its own knight, knowing that even if I take the knight, it would just be an equal trade. Let's add some pressure to see how it handles. Free pawn. But what if I just step back? It can't take my knight or my queen will take the rook. Wait. Okay. This look good to be honest. That's good, not good. I found this rating called Hoziron effect. So our engine only looks say 3 ply head. On the last move is C. Maybe our queen take a rook. That is plus 500 point. Look great. But what the engine doesn't see that on the very next move, the queen get captured right back. But hey, we can only see 3 moves ahead. For that moment, it looked like the bad move. To fix this, after we reach the end of our normal search, we keep going for a few moves to see how it goes. But only looking at captures. I get promotion and checks to be in good too, but anyway, let's see how it went. Right now, our tactics are solid, but that's just half of the story. A huge part of chess is all about where your pieces are. Knight should always want your knight tuning in the center, where they control the most square, than in the corner. Same deal for the bishop. So let's spice it up with a heat map. Basically, we'll give you a bonus point if your pieces are on a good square. Knight, bishops, pawns, rook, queens, and for the king, it's special. Early and mid game, we want him hiding safe and cozy in the center. But once it's endgame, we prefer the king to support other pieces and start moving towards center. Back to a more positional awareness engine. Another knight. Okay, maybe not we expect. I'll expect a pawn move since I think we can do this, which is pretty bad for the back side. After the opening, the bot played pretty solid and got an easy win against me. If you have been paying attention, you'll notice our engine struggle with the endgame. Is it because our engine sucks? Yes, and it's also because in the endgame, the focus shifts away from just counting material point and move more toward P-side P condensation. First up, in almost every end can remember, which sadly isn't a lot, the trick is to show the king into a corner, so that as a bonus when the enemy king gets moved in. And our king and a strong P now can get a small bonus when it also approaches the other king to cut its escape and support for checkmate like this. Alright, we agree. Alright, a bot is kind of playing chess now. Like, it's not terrible, just slightly better than a bladder tier. But don't worry, we have still got a few hikes to make this thing slightly less embarrassing. reordering the moves. Remember that whole alpha beta cutoff thing previously? Basically, the faster we find high score leaves, the earlier we can cut off. So yeah, I made this quick list to shuffle the leaf. 10 positional table. Often, we'll arrive at the same board position to different move order. Rather than solving it again every time, we'll save the result in a table so we can look up instantly next time. With these two optimizations, we can expect the engine to be about 5 to 10 times faster. You asked me where I got the number from, huh? Alright, time to unleash our ultimate jazz engines. So, well, it's pretty boring to be honest. I mean, it's played perfectly with 3 plies ahead, no burner and no brilliant. So yeah. The lesson: don't write chess engine in Python. And subscribe. Bye.